Hey guys, this is Henrik here. Hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to be explaining the Cuirassier Rush in depth to you, including why it's so strong, how to get there quickly, and how to use it effectively. So let's get straight into it. What is the Cuirassier Rush? The Cuirassier Rush is when you attack with exclusively Cuirassiers, which are 2-mover mounted units and pretty much nothing else. You will use this powerful unit to quickly capture land, eliminate threatening AI, wipe out opposing armies, and hopefully vassal your target. So why is the Cuirassier Rush so powerful and used so frequently in high-level play? There are many advantages in using the Cuirassier. First of all, it has a movement of 2. This means it's incredibly fast and can easily pressure multiple cities simultaneously. It can kill units and move back to the stack for cover, and is also very quick to reinforce and keep the train going. They have an incredibly high base strength relative to their era, because what you are mostly fighting is medieval troops, which are strength 6, 8 or maybe 10. But the Cuirassier has a base strength of 12, immunity to first strikes, a withdraw chance of 15%, and they're only 10 hammers more than a knight. There is no hard counter to Cuirassiers until rifling, which comes much later. Even on DD difficulty, you can use these units effectively before the target gets rifling. Pikemen and elephants are not effective against Cuirassiers because of the way Civ 4 combat works. The Cuirassier will still have winning odds when attacking them in the open field. Even against a fortified longbow or pikeman in a city, you will still have about a 25% chance to win against them, an additional 10 or 15% chance to retreat. If the longbow or pike kills you, there's a very high chance it will be too wounded to win its next fight, meaning with a healthy amount of troops, you can roll over cities and take less losses than your target on average. To build Cuirassiers, you're going to need military tradition and gunpowder technology, access to horses and iron, which can be possible but expensive by trade, and you usually want at least 5 cities with food to be able to produce enough units quickly to keep the momentum going. A decent stack of Cuirassiers before attacking is generally recommended. About 20 plus units is a good aim, but it varies depending on what you're fighting, the size of your empire, and the difficulty you're playing on. We'll talk more about that later. A commonly used strategy is to start building horse archers, knights, or war elephants before Cuirassiers are even available, and then using gold to upgrade them when you have access to Cuirassiers. This gold can be acquired from selling technologies for large amount of money, using great merchants to do a trade mission, or simply just dropping your research and having a high amount of commerce amongst your empire to generate gold per turn. Getting to Cuirassiers takes some time, as you'll have to choose an appropriate tech path to get all the way to the Renaissance era quickly and efficiently. This pathway will differ depending on the difficulty level, available resources, map settings, and if you are able to win Lib or not. For example, if you have Marble, you will always want to go for the Great Library, as this wonder is absolutely amazing at passively producing great scientists quickly, to use the bulb function to grab key technologies along the way, such as philosophy, education, and even liberalism itself. Without Marble, you can consider skipping aesthetics and going straight to Code of Laws to get an early civil service. It is your responsibility to decide if currency, mathematics, or other useful techs are worth self-teching or waiting for a trade from the AI. Developing a good sense for tech trade opportunities comes with paying close attention and lots of practice. You will eventually start to get a feel for how the tech pace is shaping up and if something is worth researching yourself or not. Generally, trades are most reliable on DD, where you only have to research very few key technologies while trading for all others. On Immortal and below, the AI will be much slower and thus more stingy with trades, so you will need to research more things manually. It is best to avoid taking cheap techs such as archery, mysticism, priesthood, etc. along the way, because every tech you receive, no matter how expensive, will contribute towards the tech trading limit. This limit is when the AI will refuse to trade technologies to you unless friendly, because they fear you are becoming too advanced, and you miss out on some really good trades in the late game, such as printing press or chemistry for military tradition, because you took archery. Once you have Alphabet, you will want to check the Diplo screen every turn to see if something new is available to trade. Having the bug mod will display all of this information for you at the top of the screen without having to check manually and save you lots of tedious clicking without changing the gameplay. When going for cuirassiers, there are some useful wonders to consider building along the way. If you have marble, you should definitely consider building the Great Library, Mausoleum of Mazalos, the Taj Mahal, or maybe the Parthenon. If you have stone, you should consider building the pyramids, as representation in the early game is amazing, and then you will have police state for your warfare. You can also use stone to get Fail Gold from Chichen Itza and Angkor Wat. If you do not have any resources, but are crammed in a corner on the coast, you can consider building the Great Lighthouse to gain lots of extra commerce from trade routes. It's important to be aware of using great people along the way. You can use the great scientist to bulb key technologies or make an academy to increase your passive research. You will want to also start a golden age at some point when your cities are well developed to produce the next few great people quickly, which may include more scientists for more bulbing, merchants to get a large amount of money, or more great people to prepare for another golden age. You can take advantage of the golden age to flip your civics around for free without anarchy, and go into caste system to run a bunch of dudes during the golden age, because the golden age increases great person birth rate by 100%, which is worth much more than the extra hammer and commerce on the tile that you could be working instead of the specialist. Getting another dude out in those few turns can be worth thousands of gold or beakers. Here are some statistical examples of what kind of numbers you should be aiming for at what date. On DD difficulty, you want to have at least 20 cuirassiers by 700 to 1000 AD. On Noble to Immortal, you just need 10 to 20 cuirassiers by 1000 to 1200 AD. These are just very general assumptions, and they greatly vary depending on the strength and type of AI you are attacking, and of course the global tech pace. When you are ready to launch your attack, it's important to be capable of using this unit effectively and knowing what you are up against. Before attacking, you should scout your enemy's territory for any large stacks, as the AI, especially on high levels or if it has been in previous wars, will have a respectable army of their own ready for you. And if they get the first strike on you with collateral damage and elephants or knights, they can do some serious damage or even wipe you out. If they do indeed have an army, you can simply declare and wait for it to enter your territory and then wipe it out. Your cuirassiers should have winning odds against every unit in their stack except maybe a few highly promoted elephants or pikemen, but you are still better off attacking them than letting them hit you. Don't forget you also have a withdrawal chance. If their stack is at the other side of the map, you will want to keep track of it using markers or a spy that can scout the enemy territory and be ready to hit it when it gets in range. You will find your cuirassiers have odds against pikemen and elephants if you are the one attacking. However, if the elephant or pikeman attacks you, they will have the odds, assuming both units are equally promoted. In regards to promotions, you will want to always have a few units promoted before going in, but that doesn't mean promoting every single unit. Delaying promotions can be beneficial to heal when the AI randomly throws catapults at you, or to promote shock or formation to pick off free units in the open field, which are much easier to deal with than in cities. It's important to keep track of what the enemy is researching and where they are going tech-wise. Even if you don't have enough spy points on them to see their research, you can check the tech trading screen to see what new techs they pick up and guess where they are going. If they get replaceable parts, you're probably in risk of facing rifles soon, and this will end your rush because they can upgrade almost every single unit into a rifle, unlike grenadiers or muskets, and a rifle in a city can kill 3 or 4 cuirassiers each. However, if they get something like scientific method, they're probably going physics. You can take advantage of the high movement of cuirassiers to shuffle defenders around from previously captured cities to reinforce your attack stack and keep the momentum going. You can also place your stack within attack range of 2 different cities, threatening both, and the AI will struggle to scramble enough units to each, and with enough numbers you can even take both cities on the same turn. With this rush, speed is everything. So using your first grade general to make a super medic is essential to spend less time healing and be able to move in and capture cities quicker before the AI can produce more defenders. Even if they are DD-AI, one-turning units, they won't be able to keep up with you taking a new city every turn or two. You can crush monstrously big AI with a good cuirassier attack with enough momentum until they get rifling. Some AI will be tougher than others. You should have great odds against flatland, poorly promoted longbows from somebody like Gandhi or Darius. Meanwhile, Gilgamesh protective muskets will blow you to pieces, so you will need to bring extra units to fight protective AIs like him. Cuirassiers are strong enough to cut through an AI with anything until rifling. Protective muskets or grenadiers shouldn't be able to stop you because they will still have many longbows, knights or elephants as well. Alright guys, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful to you, and please let me know in the comments if there are any further questions you may have, or if you would like to see more videos like this. Thank you.